Hey, what's going on, everybody? And welcome. My name is Steven Risotto. I cover the San Francisco Giants for SF and I'm the host of RizzoCast, a podcast that features current and former big league players, coaches, fans, media, and others who are regarded as some of the brightest minds around the game of baseball. Today's guest is Darren Ford, a former MLB outfielder who played in parts of 2 seasons at the big league level with the San Francisco Giants, a product of Vineland, New Jersey. Ford was drafted by the Brewers and was traded to the Giants in the Ray Durham deal. Remember that? And you may remember him for his game-changing speed. I mean, if we're being honest, completely honest, I still don't know if I've ever seen anybody faster than Darren Ford. I'm not even joking. That's not an exaggeration. That's truth. He was also a member of the 2010 World Series championship team. After playing subsequent years of professional baseball, Ford is now a manager for the Tupper Lake River Pigs, that's a handful to say, of the Empire Baseball League. We discuss his new venture in the managing, communicating with young players, the importance of speed to a team, a wild MLB debut, his tenure with the Giants, winning a championship in 2010, playing with Buster Posey, so much more. This is episode number 167 of RizzoCast, and let's get started. Hold on. All right, and we are back on RizzoCast with Darren Ford, and Darren is nice enough to take some time and join the podcast. Darren, what's going on? How you doing?
Yes, sir. I've been blessed. Everything been good. Just locked in the baseball still, coaching, managing now. So up here in Tupper Lake by Canada. So been good. Had our first game yesterday. Went well. We pulled it out 63. So getting right back to work today. Everything's been great.
Absolutely. And before we jump into anything, and I was thinking about this, I was like, you know what, Giants fans, because there's a lot of Giants fans that listen, and
Yeah,
they probably are always wondering what happened to some of the players that, the past.
right.
And I think a lot of people were wondering what happened to you, but you say you're managing, you're coaching, and you're managing in
Yes,
the Empire Professional League with, like you mentioned, the
yes.
Tupper Lake River Pigs, and that's in New York. First game was yesterday. Tell me a little bit about how that's going so far and how you kind of got involved in that.
It's going good. I reached out to Eddie. He's the owner of the league. He started this league I want to say about 3 years ago, and he said since the minor leagues have cut a lot of the minor league uh what's that what's the name, they cut a lot of the low A and the rookie balls teams out. So he opened up this league to give guys with who got released from other teams and guys from college who don't have no more college eligibility left. So it's basically from the bottom, and guys are really hungry and trying to get trying to be successful and get to where they're trying to get to. So it's been great working with the kids.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm assuming is this your first time managing?
Yes, first time manager. Yeah,
First time
first time.
managing. Yeah,
Yes,
I know you coached a little bit. But
yes.
what are your expectations heading into this? Like trying to figure out how to ease into kind of the role of being the guy, being the manager of this team aside from maybe the coaching that you've done in the past. How is that different?
I tell you what, I salute all the managers because there's a lot that come with it. It's a lot that comes with it. Just breaking everything down, as far as pitching and hitting, and trying to, just basically throw your best team out there, but make sure you pitching and defense. I tell the guys, offense sell tickets, defense win championships. So I really focus on that, aspect of the game, the defense part, and the small ball part of the game. I try to tell the guys, be a hitter first, be a true hitter first, and then the home runs and all them things that come. So, it's working well. So, some guys that get it, some guys, got to keep working. But yep, we're working. That's it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you mentioned like all the manager, you played for a lot of managers during the course of your
Yes,
career. And one of the guys you played for was Bruce Bochy, who's a future Hall of
right.
Fame manager. He'll be in
Yes,
Cooperstown pretty soon.
yes.
Are you trying to implement anything that Boch kind of
I
like
am.
implemented to you? What are you
I
taking
am.
away from him?
From boats, everything. Boats was laid back, but when he's black and white, basically, you know, he basically came out with boats were the type of manager to where, like I said, he's black and white. basically, play hard for him. He'll go hard for you. And he makes you want to go out there and play hard and give everything you have, dive for balls, and just put that dog in you, and for him, he gave me the opportunity. So kids that I see, every day going in every day and actually working and really wanting, just giving them the opportunity, that they, over a lifetime, this could be their opportunity to try to go up higher on the charts, So I kind of try to I don't say too much, out there on the field. I kind of say a lot in practice, just breaking down the game. That's what kind of Boast did, break down the game to a lot of players. And
And I guess during their careers, there's a lot of players that are always thinking about the next step, like right,
right,
coaching, broadcasting. A lot of them go into maybe real estate. They kind of have an idea of what they want to do. Others don't, obviously.
right.
Did you know during your playing career that you wanted to remain in the dugout in baseball in a coaching position?
I did. I did. I coached with the Trenton Thunder last year, in the MLB draft league. That went well, and I did the base coach and outfield coach. And I reached out to Eddie this year, and he was like, "Would you like to be a manager?" And so I felt like I know enough. I have enough knowledge, to do it. But at the end of the day, it was a blessing from God, and it was a role to where I didn't know if I could take it on, but I was like, let me take it on to, basically just break down the game myself and understand the game a little more myself from the manager's point of view, and me playing, I could actually, take a couple steps back and actually, break down the kids to where, uh, knowing their role and knowing what type of player they are, and we'll go from there.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned the level that you're coaching. It features a lot of players that are either fresh out of college. You mentioned some of them
Yeah,
might have gotten cut in pro ball
yeah,
and have that pro ball experience. Some may not. And you're not an old guy. 38 years old. You're not an old guy by any stretch of the
right,
imagination. But
right.
have you noticed any challenges in connecting with this next generation of baseball players? Are they
Oh
easy to
my
connect to?
God. Yes. Yeah, no, no. Some are, yes, but I, they don't make them like they used to. So a lot of guys are going to the launch angle things now and going into basically the numbers in baseball. Which is it's just I feel like I figured it's just okay. Did you hit the ball hard? It's going into the velocity, and exit velocity. Excuse me, and it's just basically, did you hit the ball hard? That's all I care about. Did you hit the ball hard? How are you seeing it? So I'm not really into the analytics of the baseball, but a lot of guys are going into uh what kind of swing is that they're doing now? They're doing like the launch angle swing kind of, and uh high fastballs that'll get you every time. So I don't teach it, at all, by any means. I don't teach it, but a lot of guys need to, that's where it comes down to, what type of player are you, you know?
Yeah, I don't know about
What,
you, man, but I hated math class.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's like, what type of player are you, Like,
Yeah.
I seen guys hit balls so hard and got out, and I seen a guy hit the ball, off the end of the bat and got a base hit. So, so it's that type of game, But yeah, it's like the game is, it's definitely changed, as far as that, aspect of the game. But as far as going out there playing hard and you know and playing solid D, that's all I really care about. The offense to come, play the game the right way. I feel like everything will, you know, pan out.
Yeah, and do the players that you coach like know who you are? Do they know
Yeah.
like the career
Now,
of Darren Ford or no?
some do, but they ask a lot of questions, and I'm pretty sure a lot of Google me and things like that. But I once I see them face to face, it's all that's out the door. We focus on you know their job right now, and they could do that on their own. But if they ask a couple of questions, I let them know. But most of the guys, I can really respect it because they're willing to learn here. They're willing to learn.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. And you were selected as head coach. I think that I saw the announcement happen in late March. So I
Yeah,
assume you kind of have had the chance to brainstorm the type of baseball that you want to be played. And
right.
okay, let's say I'm a member of your team or I'm a fan of your team. What type of style should I expect from you guys this season?
Oh, we're small ball. I'm a small ball guy. Get on, if you can steal the base, get the bag, we're gonna get them over, we're gonna get them in. Because I look at the game as this. If we can get, a couple runs early on, when the game's kind of going slow, we could get them runs early on. Later on in the game, we don't have to play catch up. We'll have to, just basically winning every inning. Try to win every inning. So try to put something up. So, but the small ball games, I'm really I stress balls in the dirt. Trying to get to the next bag. Balls in the dirt. I told him it's hard for a catcher to block a ball. Unless you got Buster out there. Block a ball and pick it up and throw it to second. So it's I try to tell them. Tell the guys to just the little things of the game. Will make a big impact on a lot of things. So.
And you are 1-0 as an independent league manager. Did you celebrate after the first win on opening day?
No, I went in my office and started writing down what the lineup for tomorrow. Well, for today. That's exactly what I did. Just trying to, day by day. It's day by day with it. So I thank God. It's a blessing for me to, some guys don't get a W the first time. So I appreciate that. I'm thankful for that. But I still want these guys to, actually learn the game all the way in and out, and kind of, if I could help, I say a couple guys on my team, and make them a better base runner or a better outfielder, infielder, or something like that. I feel like that'll, elevate their game, and that's what I kind of focus on more.
Yeah, for sure. And let's get into your career a little bit because when I told people that I was like, okay, Darren Ford, a lot of people still like a lot of people remember Darren Ford, and I think your career is very interesting. And it's no shock that like you're on the East Coast now because that's a place that you grew up,
Yes.
in New Jersey. And,
Mm.
and I know that like as a kid, tell me a little bit about that upbringing that you had and getting into sports. And I know I read somewhere that your mom had a big impact on your life. Tell me a little bit about
Yes.
that atmosphere growing up in New Jersey around sports.
Yeah. New Jersey, it's they got a lot of dogs, guys that can really play sports, and with me, I was out of high school, I played football, basketball, baseball, I ran track. I was really good in football and baseball. I played a ton of baseball. I went to Babe Ruth World Series when I was younger. I traveled so much, and also football. But I just came down to a decision where I'll tell you a quick story. It was I was to how I got drafted and everything. I always played sports, always growing up. Always since I was 6 years old. Um, baseball. Baseball was my second at first. My second favorite. Football was my number one. And came to a decision where as I had an opportunity to get drafted. Before they had to draft and follow. They had to draft and follow. They don't have that anymore. Yeah, they don't have that anymore. So Milwaukee had like a pre-draft workout, and a small college around my way. It's called Camden County College, and they had a workout for guys whoever wanted to come. It's about I'd say about 100 guys there, and so I'm driving, and I call my mom, and I'm like, "Hey, mom, I cannot find this place. I'm not sure where it's at." She's like, "All right, well, just kind of pull over to a store somewhere and see if you can find a place." So I'm like, maybe I shouldn't go, mom." She's like, "Yeah, you should. You definitely should go." So I was like, "All right, mom, I'm gonna go." So I pull over, go into the store, and I'm like 2 minutes up the road. So I'm like, "All right." So I get there. Guys are starting to run the 60s and things like that. So I'm the last guy to go, and so I run. and I beat everybody. I think I ran like a 6'2", and I beat everybody. And the guy was like, Tony Blingino was a scout, and he was like, would you like to run again?" I was like, "Did I beat everybody? Everybody's time?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "No, I don't want to run again." So I didn't run again. So he was like, out of 100 kids, he picked like 5 kids at the end of the draft, pre-draft workout, and we have an invitation to go to Milwaukee. So we go to Milwaukee. So I go home, tell my mom, me, my mother, my grandma, my grandpa. We drove about 21 hours to Milwaukee, to for the workout. So I end up having a banquet. I ended up having a banquet, my high school banquet, and they end up picking me up in the 18th round, drafting me in the 18th round. And that's when my career really started, because I was a mama's boy. You know, um, I didn't want to leave my mom. I went to Chipola Junior College. Um, that's when they said they wanted me to get away from my mom, to see if I could get away from my mom. I went to Chipola, and then so when I got drafted from there, I went to Helena, Montana. That's where I started at with Milwaukee. Uh, I went to Helena, and then I went to Brevard County, played with Brevard, and also Virginia, West Virginia. And that's when I got traded. Then I got traded in the Ray Dorn trade. But Milwaukee, like with my career, Milwaukee, actually, I went through the grind with a lot of Milwaukee guys. Lorenzo King and Michael Brentley. We were all three of us went all the outfield together. Thank God we all got to win the World Series. And so we so I got traded. The moment I got traded, that how I felt, it was at first I was like, I didn't think baseball was for me, but it ended up being the best thing, for me happening, because I ended up getting traded, and ended up loving the Giants organization. And one thing that the Giants, they that I loved about the Giants were, we were taught to win at in the minor leagues. We were taught to win in the minor leagues too. So, if you do have an opportunity to get called up, you're kind of already ready to go. So I started there in San Jose. Started in San Jose, and we won the championship there in '09, and then 2000 and yeah 2010. I'm The crazy thing was I get hurt. I think Brian Sabian comes in town. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear.
Okay. Brian Sabian comes in town, and we're in I want to say we're in Pennsylvania somewhere. 'Cause I'm playing. We're in LA, in Richmond, Virginia, and we're in Double A. And one time, okay, I dove for a ball in the outfield, and I hit my knee on like a water sprinkler,
Oh,
and I'm out. Like I'm out. My knees is killing me, but I'm still through. Still trying to make it through the game. So the next morning, I can't even bend my knee, and so hurry up, call the trainer. Thanks to Eric Ortega, I mean, Big E. I love him as well. He tells me, you catch an Uber to the baseball field. I get to the baseball field. He was like, "Oh, you can walk on your leg." I'm like, "Listen, E, we have to do whatever it takes. I have to play. It's in town, and I have to do whatever it takes to get on the field." So he's like, "All right, I'm gonna take you outside. If you if you run like I know how, like I know you can run, I'll let you play today." So I'm running, and I have like a little gallop. I'm not all the way 100%. So he's like, "I'm gonna just now." So I kind of, like, at that moment right there, kind of changed my life as well. Like, I was trying to focus on trying to get, you know, at that moment to where, I end up getting hurt, but it ended up being a blessing because I end up getting my leg right for about 2 weeks. I end up getting getting my leg right for about 2 weeks, and I end up September call up, on September 1st. And that day was crazy. My Andy Skills was my manager in AA, and he calls me into his office and he goes, Darren, you look like you're running better. And do you think you could still be a base tomorrow? I'm like, yeah, for sure. Just put me in the game for sure. So he's like, no, I don't think you're ready. You're still a base. I said, hey, listen, put me in the game tomorrow, and I'm gonna steal the base for you. So he's like, all right, you sure? I'm like, I'm positive. He's like, all right, congratulations, you got called up to the big leagues. So I couldn't sleep at all. I couldn't sleep at all. I'm calling my mom, 100 times, going back and forth. So she's calling me. She's like, listen, just pray to God. Everything's gonna be fine. I said, all right, mom. So I end up getting some sleep. Thomas Neal. He's my roommate at the time. He's like, hey, listen, it's another game. Don't stress it. It's another game. Just go out there and just, So I said, okay. So I end up going to sleep. The next morning, I end up going to the airport. I have a layover. And I called the John, like, hey, listen, do you guys know that I have a layover? And he's like, no, we didn't. So they're like, call you right back. They call me right back, and they're like, all right, you have to run to this gate, which is all the way across the airport. You know, you have to run to this gate all the way across the airport. So I see my locker. I was just I was loving it. So I kind of try to take the moment to let it sink in, but I had to hurry up and get hurry up and get dressed. So I hurry up, get dressed. I go downstairs to the tunnel. First guy I see is brother Romo. And he was like, go to Boats and tell him that, but it's like 1-1, and like I like the second inning. I'm like, you sure you got to go right now? Like in a game like this? He's like, yeah, go. So I like, I don't think so, Mo. He's like, yeah, before they go. I'm like, all right. So I go down to Boats. I'm like, hey, Boats, sorry, I'm late. He's like, hey, it wasn't your fault. Just sit down and if we need you, we'll just go ahead and get ready. So I'm like, okay, yes, sir. So sit down, and the sixth inning come around, and I'm just sitting there, watching the game, and it's like, Darren, go warm up. So I said, okay. So I go downstairs, grab a trainer, um, I get stretched out, and say a prayer, and I remember Bulge like it was yesterday. Bulge was like, Darren, all right, grab a bat. You're going to hit for Timmy. Fontenot's hitting right now. He said, grab a bat. You're going to hit for Tim. I said, okay. I grab a bat, and he was like, never mind, Darren. If Font gets on, and you're going to run for Font. So I said, okay. So Font, and he's like, all right, Darren, go run for Font. And at that moment, it was crazy. At that moment, I hit the top step, and, I just, I already prayed, and God let everything happen from the rest. So it's definitely, definitely a blessing. Timmy sack bunted me over to second base, and, only thing I remember, they did a mound visit, and I told myself, Darren, don't try to be a hero and try to get thrown out at third base. Just try to be aggressive, ball on the so you can make it to third base. And I think Andres Torres is batting like a 1-2, 1-1 count, and he threw a curveball. Bado Jimenez threw a curveball, and as soon as it hit the ground, I kind of took off. And only thing I remember is the ball flying on my head. I don't remember sliding in, and I had to watch the video over and over again. So it was kind of cool. So yeah, like I thank God for me being, with that team, being at that moment, being able to help us, win. And, you know, uh, it was just, like the whole thing, but the right place at the right time, around the right guys, Boats giving me the opportunity, to help us, just believing in me, just the whole organization, the fans, it's everything. It was really great.
Yeah, and I do want to kind of circle back there, but I mean, there's no
Hmm.
secret that like speed was like your thing. Like speed, everybody knew you as Darren
Yeah,
Ford being the guy that's fast. And you mentioned that you played
yeah.
high school football and you were a running back in high school.
Hmm.
Did you ever think about like continuing on in football? Was that ever something that you thought about?
I did, but I did at a couple. I had a couple times where I thought like, okay, maybe I should go play football, but my God, my blessing was to go to baseball. And I just knew as a kid, I was always good in sports, but I always knew whatever, I was gonna make it in football or baseball, I knew I will always play in front of a big crowd,
Hmm.
in front of a big crowd and 100,000 people. I just knew that. I didn't know what sport, but I knew I always wanted to play in front. Something with the big crowd just gets me going, and just hearing them yell, so.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And
Mhm.
you know what, the Brewers, and that was nearly 20 years ago when you were drafted. Like
Yes,
that 20 years ago, we're coming up on that anniversary, or maybe we passed it, I don't know. But and then the
right.
Giants, like you mentioned, acquired you in it was the Ray Durham trade.
Great Darn.
Yeah,
Hmm.
2008. Did that leave you kind of like wondering what was next? Did you have to do some quick adjusting after that trade? Because like the
Yeah,
organization that guys are drafted in, like it's kind of near and dear to them. They get used to how things work, and then boom, it's a different
yeah,
atmosphere.
right. Uh, I played with it was Buster, uh, Bumgarner, um, Pablo, Nick Noonan, Crawford, Bell. All these guys were in the minor leagues. So um, me playing with them guys and seeing these guys how they go about their business every day. We didn't do that over there in the Brewers organization. We worked, but it was just like individually. With the Giants, it was team. And I kind of adapted quick. Adapted quick, and it was a blessing. It was a blessing. Even the minor leagues, it was a blessing.
Yeah, and there's a fun fact that people may not know. There's a time when the Giants were trying to ramp you up as a switch hitter in the minor leagues, and it really never turned out
Yeah,
the
yeah,
way. So I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
switch hitting's valuable, but why didn't that work?
Well, I feel like I started a little late. I was about maybe 22, maybe at the time, 21, 22. But it actually helped. That one year that I did it, I was in high A. I was in high A. Yeah, I was in when I started or low A. And it was tough. It was tough, but I was I was a speed guy. So, it was something, to try. It was something good to try. So I did try it, but it actually helped me. It was my manager at the time, and he was like, "Hey, just try it." So I went to early work every day in spring training in Arizona, and I definitely tried it, but it helped my righty out, a ton. That first year I tried it, I hit 200 for the first half, and I was struggling. And I remember going into the office and saying, "Listen, it's not working. I'd rather, go natural righty, and just do what I could do." And I ended up hitting 300 right on the nose to finish that year right off. So it kind of helped my rarity up. But it was good to try. It was good to try. I loved it.
Yeah, always worth a try. And um,
Hmm.
I mentioned like the speed and everything. And being
Yeah,
fast is one thing, and you were certainly fast, but being like a good, and I'm sure you're teaching a lot of the kids this too, being like a good
yeah,
base runner maybe is a little bit of a different thing. Like you could be fast and be reckless, or you could be fast and be a good
right,
base runner. How did you kind of
right.
figure out how to like merge the two? Because if I'm remembering
And
correctly, you were a good base runner too, and they're not the same. You know what I'm saying?
yes, I had coming out of high school and everything. Coming out of high school, I just ran. I just go. I know a lot of pitchers, come through. I mean, a lot of catchers come throw me out. So as I grew, I learned that, you have to be smart. It's just not, just go. It's also, picking counts. It's also, thinking about, okay, curveball counts is coming, or, getting the best jump. It's a lot more that comes to it, comes with it, other than just stealing the base. I know a lot of guys, I try to teach guys now that you don't have to be fast to steal a base. You can steal bases and, just be smart. If you're getting smart on the base pass would definitely, elevate your game as well. Being smart on the base pass, taking the extra base, things like that. That's kind of what I preach a lot.
Yeah, and we always see guys develop like power, they develop discipline, awareness of the strike zone, pitchers
Right.
develop velocity, movement, but like it seems like nobody can really develop speed. Is it like a God-given thing? Like where does speed even come from? Or at least where did it come from
Okay.
you?
It, God, God. It's God. It's all God because it's just God gave it to me, but I have to maintain it. And that comes with stretching, um, ice, a cold tub, hot tub. Kind of taking care of the body. Taking care of your body as far because the 162 games is a lot of games. So it's like once I learned, how to basically stay in the gym, things like that, trying to make them stronger. So that was the best thing. But yes, as far as speed, it was just God given for sure.
Yeah, and what is the role of speed in today's game? Because there's a lot of fast guys. Sometimes it seems like they're not taking advantage of stealing bases, and I think baseball wants
Right.
the stolen base to come back. What do you think
Yeah.
is behind the decrease in stolen bases, and now MLB trying to bring them back?
I think it's more on a lot of teams rely on the long ball. I feel like a lot of it's not too a couple teams, guys that play the small ball teams, but a lot of guys are starting to you could hit these days, you could hit 230, 240 with 30 home runs and it's okay. Before you hit 230, that's you're going to get sent down to the minor leagues. You got to work on some things. So um I feel like a lot of teams, if they did play the small ball game, I feel like that it'd definitely change, the game. I think it would change the game a lot. Just just playing the game. You won't have to depend on a long ball at the seventh, eighth, and ninth inning of a game. You can actually get them over bunt and bunt. And I feel like if you could get a bunt knock in the beginning of the game and we could get going, let's do it. I'm all with it. So get them on. I'm big on get them on, get them over, get them in, get them on, get them over, get them in. So and playing solid defensive pitching. You know,
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
I'm I'm a I'm a big defensive guy. I am. I'm
Mhm.
a I'm a big defensive guy. Even when I played, if say I struck out or anything, or say I got thrown out or anything, a catcher threw me out trying to steal a base or anything, God, I hope you don't hit a ball out there to center field because I'm going to go run and go get it. And that's how I always, thought of, offense sell tickets, defense win championships. I've always been like that. Like if I get on base, great. But both, it was a blessing because both put me on base. So it was already, a guy on base already. So now I could work from there. But um, yeah, I'm big on the get them on, get them over, get them in. I'm big on that and playing solid D. Solid D and pitching. Pitching and defense. I feel like that wins championships.
Yeah, no, without a doubt, and it definitely won a championship in 2010, and you were a part of
Yes,
that,
it
and
did.
it helped
Yeah.
to have a guy who could go get him in center field and who could read a Baldo Jimenez breaking ball in the dirt. No, but you were part of that team, and you never had an at bat during the regular season in 2010, and you weren't on the playoff roster,
Mm-hmm.
but. Darren, I'm telling you, I
Mm-hmm.
could still imagine you and Manny Burris at the top rail of the dugout every single game during that
Every game.
postseason,
Yeah.
the biggest and
Yes.
most visible cheerleaders during that entire run.
Yes.
What did that experience of winning a championship mean to you, and just kind of being there as a young player to experience that?
It really was a blessing because even though we wasn't on a roster, it felt like we were there. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the way in, and that team, it was all brothers. You know, we were brothers on that team. Everyone, like, you could call on anybody, and then not for nothing, Buster Buster Posey, he's man, he was a blessing. You know and I could say that with all my heart. He really was a blessing with all my heart because the way he handled himself and as a leader, on the team. When you have guys like Pat Burrow and Aubrey Huff and guys like that, Torres, Renteria, um, uh, Juan Uribe, everybody like that, Cody Ross. These guys were, they carried themselves well every day, on a professional level. So seeing that, me as a young guy, and me seeing that every day as a young guy, you know, we knew our role. We knew exactly, how we were supposed to be, and the way everyone followed Buster. To be honest, Buster was he was our blessing. He was our blessing, and I'm really honored to even play with him.
Absolutely. Do you have a favorite memory during that postseason run? Any moment that stands out?
Yeah, all of it. I gotta go with all of it. It is. You know, it was also a grind, with that one game playoff. The one game playoff with San Diego. We're gonna start there. That was crazy. Then the Atlanta series, then Philly series. Like, it's still the grind, the way guys went about their business every day. Was it was great to watch guys. Even our pitching staff. Just watching guys, how everyone went about their business and how locked in everyone was. It was great to see.
Yeah, no, for sure. And
And I try to teach that with my guys to lock in. The way we were locked in. I know it's not going to happen, but these guys, I try to get them locked in to where to get dialed in to where you're dialed in every single pitch. Uh,
yeah. Do you know do you know who also is coaching from that team now? Manny Burris. He's a hitting coach with the Dodgers
yeah,
organization. Do you
yeah.
still keep in
I talked to
contact with any
him
of those
about.
guys?
Yeah, I talked to Manny Burris about, I want to say, about 2-3 weeks ago.
Nice. Yeah.
He was in Albuquerque. Yeah, he was in Albuquerque. I talked to him. I was kind of trying to pick his brain a little bit.
Yeah. No, all those guys, I still remember them all. And um
Yes, yeah,
did you ever, and this is kind of like a separate note, and we're almost done here, but did you ever, you mentioned a few of the injuries that you had, and I know that there was one a little bit later on after where you hurt your neck, and I know that there's a
yeah.
sprained ankle, and I remember the sprained ankle actually. It was on the walk-off by Manny Burris,
The
and
Battle of the Bay. The
yeah,
Battle of the Bay. Yeah,
Battle of the Bay with the
yeah, yeah,
A's, and I
yeah,
remember watching that and thinking like they won, but like something didn't look right there. and uh and
yeah,
and if you read Cody Ross, who greeted you, if you read his lips, he was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa," and it like
yeah,
looked
yeah. To
looked like,
Pat. I think. Oh, was it Pat or Albie? It might have been Albie out there. That's
yeah,
going over. That's crazy because I was watching it the other day.
yeah. I watched it this morning before we came on here. But did you ever feel
Right.
like healthy? Do baseball players ever feel like 100% healthy, or is there
No.
always something that just like lingers?
It's always something. It's crazy because it's not even a contact sport,
Yeah.
and that's the crazy thing about it is little tweaks and aches, and that's all the time, all day. And then it's like, okay, you try to take care of your body, cold tub and hot tub, but that don't work all the time, So it's just like, what do I do next, And then it's just like, I try to crowd there, just everything that you can imagine, but now it comes down to heart. Even things are aching and pain. It comes down to heart, and you being a dog out there, and playing through it, basically playing through it.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think that Cal Ripken Jr. played in 2,632 straight games. That's insane.
Right, right. It's that's a blessing. That's a blessing. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. And I mentioned how like I was kind of fascinated by your career, and one of the things that is really admirable about your career is you just kept playing, and you never made it back to the big
Yeah.
leagues after 2011, but you stuck it out in AAA,
Hmm.
independent leagues. You're still in baseball now. Why do you love
Yeah.
baseball? Like, why is this game special to you?
Um, Me as a kid, I always, baseball. I always played it, as a kid, and like I said, I always wanted to be someone in life. It's either, my mom always tell me, every day to this day, either be somebody or nobody. And I really always from a kid wanted to be someone, and try to make an impact, somehow, and love sports. God bless me with a talent that you don't give too many people. So it was just like with me praying and me understanding my role, I really understood, what type of player I really was, when me just giving these kids, giving back to the kids and actually, seeing these kids day in, day out, get better and, starting to understand the things that you're saying as soon as they listen, is a blessing. And that's why I really love the game is to see other kids, reach their dreams you know, seeing other kids happy, and working with them and seeing them being successful when as you're working with them, that really touches the heart and it's really a blessing for that.
Yeah, that's really awesome. And I got five more
Yeah,
quick ones before we wrap up. This is fast
you can ask me
five.
whatever you want.
Fast five, kind of rapid fire. You can answer them however you want. They don't have to be fast, but these
Okay,
are kind of fun questions to end it on. Number one, if you weren't in baseball, what would you be doing?
football.
Okay, good answer. Who's the funniest teammate you've ever had?
RBO.
Okay. And now you're a manager. So this is number three. You're a manager. You haven't been ejected probably as a manager, but have you ever been ejected in your career at all?
Yes,
Okay, do you want to tell that story? Do you remember it?
one time. Yeah, I
One
thought it was
time.
last year. It was last year. It was last year with the draft league, Trent Thunder. Jeff Manto was the manager. I'm coaching, and I'm at the first base, and the guy. It was a bang bang play at first base, and the umpire kind of rung him up before he even, I think he had his mind made up already, on the play, he was already here, ready to ring him up, and I just basically walked out there and said, basically told him that he had his mind made up. You need to wait for it, till the plays finish, because he was safe. I didn't. He already had his mind up to call him out, and it was like he called it out before the ball even hit the first baseman's, glove for him to be out. So, I walked over, and kind of let him have it a little bit, and just told him I want to say it was probably like the bottom of the eighth, bottom of the ninth, and I just told him, you need to open his eyes and you know don't assume anything before it happens, and you know got a little close, and I just wanted to look at him eye to eye, that's all I wanted to do, and he felt like I got a little too close, I didn't bump him or anything, but I got a little too close, and he threw me out. So, so it's just like, and I told him, you need to, he missed a good game. He's missing a good game. So I think he's
Yeah.
ready to go home though. It's one of those, ready to go home, long inning, extra inning game. So it was one
Yeah,
of those ones.
he had reservations in like the Bronx or something. He was going
Right.
somewhere.
He had to go. He had another game. He has to get on the road for the Balls game. So he was ready to get out of there. But he had his mind made up already. But I'm not a guy who get thrown out too much. I'm kind of calm, cool, collective, and I ask the umpire, things like that. But I don't get too. not too riled up too much. I'm relaxed like Boch was.
Yeah, yeah. Doesn't
I
get
mean, like,
ejected as much as you think. Yeah, he's kind of
yeah,
cool,
yeah.
calm, and collected. Um,
Right.
yeah. No, number four, favorite player as a kid.
As a kid, I didn't. Well, maybe Dion. I gotta go with Dion Sanders. But as I, you know, started playing baseball, my favorite player is Buster. 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
Buster. Yeah, no,
You know,
there's a
that
lot of
nah,
people that share
seriously.
that same thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have to go with Buster with baseball, and it was a blessing to even play with him. So for sure. I was yeah. Real quick, I was reading something. What was it the other day? He won the World Series, won the ML, won the NL MVP. He NL All Star game catcher, Hank Aaron Award. Was a Silver Slugger, the NL batting champ. He caught Matt Cain's perfect game,
Gold
and I think
Gloves.
Gold Gloves, and I think he had like a 9-8 like WAR season. It was crazy, like I'm crazy. So like walking legend,
Yeah, he'll be in
you
the Hall of
know?
Fame.
Yes, 100% for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure. And
Yeah,
final question here. What
got
is
you.
your like if let's say you got a free plane ticket to anywhere in the world, where are you
Yeah.
going?
I am going to Egypt. I want to kind of see. I want to see the pyramids. I haven't seen the pyramids. I kind of want to see the pyramids. I haven't been there, so Egypt. I would definitely go to Egypt.
Awesome. I don't know where you get a free plane ticket, but maybe when the season's
Yeah,
over.
right.
Yeah, man. Well, Darren, man, I appreciate you coming on. This was a
Yeah,
blast. I
yeah.
hopefully you
Thank
had
you.
fun kind of reflecting and thanks for coming on.
Yeah, no problem. I want to thank you for everything as well, and for all the San Fran fans. And thank you. Love you guys always, and go Giants and Giant at heart always, guys.
For sure. And everybody could go ahead and listen to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you find your podcast. Go check it out. Instagram, Twitter, RizzoCast, go check it out. More to come. Thank you everybody for listening and have a great day.